Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news, folks, there's a lot to unpack here, and it's not every day that the NFL landscape shifts in such a noticeable way, especially when it involves our beloved Browns. Right now, we're seeing a ripple effect that could have major consequences not just for the Detroit Lions, but also for Cleveland's playoff ambitions. And it all centers around the health of a key offensive lineman from Detroit, Christian Mahogany, and the potential for a strategic move by the Browns that could really shake things up in the AFC North and beyond. Let's start with what's happening on the other side of the league, because it directly relates to what Cleveland fans need to be keeping an eye on. The Detroit Lions, a team many of us have watched closely because they've been building something special this year, are facing some significant challenges in their offensive line. Their interior was already a bit thin, especially on the pass-blocking side, which is critical in today's NFL where quarterbacks need to have time to make plays. But now, things are getting even more complicated. On Monday, they suffered a serious blow when their starting offensive guard, Christian Mahogany, who had stepped into a significant role this season at just 25 years old, went down with a fractured leg during their tough loss to the Minnesota Vikings in Week 9. That's a massive hit for the Lions, not only because Mahogany was starting to establish himself as a reliable piece on their line, but also because it throws into question their depth and ability to protect Jared Goff moving forward. NFL.com reported that the Lions head coach Dan Campbell confirmed that Mahogany has a broken bone in his leg and will be out for a long time, possibly for the rest of the season. That's not just bad news for Detroit, it's a potential game changer in how they approach the trade deadline, which is coming up fast on November 4. Now here's where it gets really interesting for Browns fans. Detroit is going to need to act quickly to fill that void, and the logical solution might be to look for some reinforcements on the offensive line. And naturally, Cleveland's own duo of elite guards, Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio, immediately come into focus. Both are top-tier players, with Teller being a 4-time Pro Bowler and one of the best at both run and pass blocking in the league. Bitonio, although a bit older at 34, still brings a wealth of experience and consistency, and he's heading into free agency next March. But if Cleveland were to consider trading one of these guys, which, given the current season and the team's depth, is a real possibility, Detroit could be very interested. Let's talk about the potential targets here because this isn't just about filling a gap for Detroit. It's about strategic moves that could benefit Cleveland down the line. Wyatt Teller, 30 years old with a long track record of success, especially as a run blocker, but also solid in pass protection, stands out as the prime candidate for a trade if the Browns decide to listen to offers. His ability to elevate the offensive line's performance makes him a hot commodity, especially for a team like Detroit that's fighting for a deep playoff run and needs stability up front. Joel Bitonio, while still very effective, is on the back nine of his career, and the Browns might prefer to hold on to him for veteran leadership and continuity, especially with a young quarterback like Deshaun Watson still developing. Now, why would Cleveland consider trading one of their guards? Well, for starters, the Browns have built a very strong offensive line overall, and if the right trade opportunity presents itself, they might see it as a way to get additional draft capital or a defensive piece in return. Also, the Browns are in a position where they can afford to be patient. They have solid depth at guard, and with Teller's high level of play this season, they could command a good return. Plus, with the trade deadline looming, it's all about strategic moves to improve the team's chances for a deep playoff push, especially as the AFC is more competitive than ever. This scenario also highlights the importance of the Browns' front office and coaching staff. They've always been adept at making smart moves mid-season, whether it's acquiring a key player or adjusting their strategy. If Cleveland chooses to listen to trade offers for Teller or Bitonio, it could be a signal that they're aiming to fine-tune their roster for the postseason. And honestly, with how well the Browns have played overall this season and the potential for a strong finish, Making a bold move at the right time could be the difference between an early playoff exit and a deep run. Let's not forget that the Browns' offensive line has been a real strength this year. Deshaun Watson has had more time in the pocket than he had last season, and that's directly connected to the stability and talent up front. If Cleveland were to move one of their guards, it would be a calculated risk, but one that could pay off if they land a promising player or draft pick in return. It's also worth mentioning that the Browns are not in a hurry to make reckless trades. They're looking for strategic upgrades that will help them sustain their momentum and contend for the AFC crown. Now, stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, this situation underscores how interconnected the NFL is. A single injury in Detroit could lead to a major trade involving Cleveland's star guards, which in turn could influence the division standings and playoff picture. Browns fans know how crucial offensive line play is. It's the foundation of everything we want to do offensively. If we can keep our line healthy and intact, Deshaun Watson is capable of leading us to some serious postseason success. But if we see a move happening, it's probably because the front office recognizes the urgency to keep the line strong and adaptable. And let's talk about the AFC North, because it's shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in recent memory. The Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, and now potentially a more aggressive Browns all are fighting for playoff positioning and trying to build a team that can go the distance in January. The Lions' injury situation is a reminder that injuries can shift the balance quickly, and smart, proactive moves are often the key to maintaining an edge. Cleveland has already shown that they're not afraid to make bold decisions when needed, and they're always looking for ways to improve the roster for the long haul. As Browns fans, we should be excited about the potential of this season. The team's performance has been promising, and with Deshaun Watson playing at a high level, there's every reason to believe we can make some noise in the playoffs. But that also means staying alert to what moves might be coming, especially as the trade deadline approaches. Cleveland has a deep roster, and with the right deal, they could bolster their chances even more. Whether it's holding on to our guards or trading for a player who can step in immediately, the Browns are always looking for ways to stay ahead in this competitive league. In the end, what we're witnessing is a perfect example of how the NFL landscape can shift in a flash. Every injury, every trade, every strategic move can influence the entire division and playoff picture. Browns fans, it's essential to stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep supporting this team. We've seen what Cleveland can do when everything clicks: a strong offensive line, a confident quarterback, and a coaching staff that knows how to adapt. If the front office makes a move at the right time, it could give us that extra edge needed to go all the way. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So Browns fans, what's your take on all this? Do you think Cleveland should consider trading one of our guards to help Detroit cover their injury gap? Or do you believe we should hold tight and keep everyone in-house, trusting that our current line can handle the rest of the season? Personally, I believe that the Browns have built something special this year, and while strategic moves are always part of playoff success, they need to be smart and well-timed. Our offensive line has been a cornerstone. If we can keep it healthy and maybe even add a piece or two through trade, there's no reason we can't aim for that elusive Super Bowl. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and every game, every move, and every play counts. Let's keep that passion alive and believe in what this team can do. Cleveland Browns were chasing greatness, and this season might just be the one to bring us back to the top.